My grandkids are the reason I can't stay. I'm 65, retired mailman, 34 years, same route in Cleveland, Ohio. I always thought the hard part of getting old would be being alone. Turns out the hard part is being surrounded and still not able to afford it. Let me explain, because this one's backwards from what people expect. My daughter has 3 kids. She works. Her husband works. And childcare in our county runs $1,300 a month per kid. Do that math. That's more than their mortgage. So who fills the gap? Grandpa. I watch the 2 little ones 4 days a week. I love them more than my own life. That is not the problem. The problem is I can't afford to be their free daycare and keep myself alive at the same time. My pension and Social Security together come to about $2,700 a month. Sounds okay until the bills line up. My Medicare Advantage plan looked free. 0 premium, big smiling ad. Then my wife got sick, and we learned what prior authorization and out-of-network really mean. We hit $6,000 in out-of-pocket in 8 months on a plan that was supposed to cost nothing. Here's the twist nobody sees coming. The very family that makes me want to stay is the same reason I'm going broke staying. I can't move to a cheaper state. The grandkids are here. I can't work a side job. I'm watching the grandkids. I'm trapped by the thing I love most. So my brother, he retired to Panama. He keeps telling me, cost of a full-time helper down there, a real apartment, doctors who actually call you back, a fraction of what I'm bleeding here. And for the first time, instead of laughing, I opened the browser. I looked at flights out of Cleveland Hopkins. I sat there a long time, because here's the quiet math of it. If I leave, I can finally afford to live, but I lose the only thing worth living for. If I stay, I keep them close and go under doing it. That's not a retirement. That's a hostage situation with a photo album. I raised a family in this country. Now I have to choose between my family and this country. So somebody tell me how you make that choice, because I've been staring at it for 6 months and there is no right answer, only the one that hurts less.
Nobody warned us it would come to this. I turned 67 last spring. 31 years I paid into that house in Mesa, Arizona. Paid it off, free and clear, and then the property tax notice came. $4,900 for a house I already own. Let me say that again. I don't have a mortgage. I own the walls, the roof, the dirt under it. But the county still hands me a bill every single year for the privilege of sitting in my own living room, and it climbs. It was $3,100 when my wife was still alive. Now it's $4,900, and the assessor tells me the valuation went up. Great. My house is worth more. That means nothing to me. I'm not selling it. I just have to pay more to keep it. Here's the part nobody warns you about. When you're working, a tax bill is just annoying. When you're on a fixed Social Security check, mine's about $1,900 a month, that bill is a wall. Do the math with me. $4,900 a year is more than 2.5 of my monthly checks. Gone. For a house I already bought once. So I did what I swore I'd never do. I started looking at Portugal, at Mexico, at Panama, places where a retired American can rent a clean apartment near a hospital for what my taxes alone cost me here. And you know what stopped me cold? It wasn't the flights. It wasn't the language. It was the shame. The idea that after a lifetime of doing everything right, working, saving, paying, staying, I'd have to leave the country I built my whole life in just to afford to grow old. That's the quiet cruelty of it. Nobody kicks you out. They just price you out. Slowly, politely, one notice at a time. I still haven't booked the ticket. I sit at the kitchen table with the passport in one hand and the tax bill in the other, and I go back and forth. You spend your whole life planting roots, then they tax you for standing on them. So tell me, if your own paid-off home cost you 3 months of income a year just to keep, what would you do? I'm listening, because I still don't know.
I speak 3 languages. America wants none of them. I'm 59. I came here from Manila when I was 24, became a citizen at 31, cried when I took the oath, real tears, in a courthouse in San Diego. I gave this country 35 years, nursing homes mostly. Wiped, lifted, fed other people's parents through 2 night shifts back to back. I loved it. I believed the deal. You work, you belong, you retire with dignity. Then I tried to actually retire, and I found out the deal changed while I wasn't looking. My Social Security, after 35 years of W-2s, $1,640 a month. That's it, because a lot of my early caregiving work was under the table. That's how the agencies paid back then. So those years count as 0. Nobody told a 24-year-old immigrant to worry about her 2026 benefit statement. Here's the part that actually made me sit down on the floor. I called an assisted living place, the same kind I worked in for 3 decades. For me, just in case, $6,200 a month. I spent my whole life caring for people in rooms I will never, ever be able to afford to live in. I built the thing that has no room for me. So now the woman who took care of everyone is trying to figure out who takes care of her. And the honest answer is, not this country. Not on $1,640. My cousin went back to Cebu 4 years ago. Same age, same tired knees. She has a 2-bedroom near the water, a woman who helps her cook and clean, doctor visits she can actually pay for, all of it for less than what 1 month in that San Diego facility would cost me. She keeps saying, "Come home." And the strange thing is, home used to mean here. I don't want to leave. My daughter is in Chula Vista. My church is here. My whole American life is here. But America made me a promise in that courthouse, and America is quietly not keeping it. I gave this country my back, my knees, and my best 35 years. It's giving me $1,600 and a door. So you tell me, when the place you chose stops choosing you back, is leaving giving up, or is it just finally listening? I still don't know, but my passport's on the table.
I owned 3 homes. Now I rent 1 room. I'm 71. I was a landlord in Phoenix for most of my life. Not rich. I had 3 little rental houses I bought back when a house cost what a car costs now. That was my whole retirement plan. The rent from those houses was supposed to be my paycheck until the day I died. Then the insurance letters started coming. My homeowner's policy on the first house, it went from $1,400 a year to $4,200. In 1 renewal, no claims, no fire, no flood. They just sent a letter that said the risk model changed. Then the second house got dropped completely. The carrier pulled out of the whole zip code. I called 9 companies. 9. The ones who'd even talked to me quoted numbers that ate the entire rent. Here's the math that ended me. If the insurance costs more than the rent brings in, the house isn't an asset anymore. It's a bill with a roof. So I sold the first 2. Not because I wanted to, because I couldn't afford to insure my own investment. And then the part I never saw coming. The money from the sales? It sat in the bank losing value while everything else climbed. My grocery run at the Fry's on the corner used to be $60. Now the same cart is $130. My own tenants, good people, couldn't cover the rent hikes I needed just to break even. So we both lost. I went from 3 deeds in a drawer to renting a single room from my nephew in Tucson, 71 years old, and I share a bathroom. So I did the thing I used to laugh at other people for doing. I looked up Portugal. A friend from church retired to a town near Lisbon 2 years ago. She owns her place outright. Her insurance for the year is less than 1 month of what they wanted from me here. She sends photos from a balcony. I look at them from a rented room. I built my whole life on American real estate. And American real estate is the exact thing that pushed me out. You spend 40 years being a landlord. Then the country becomes one. And you can't make rent. Tell me honestly, if the thing you built your future on turned into the thing bleeding you dry, would you stay out of pride? Or would you go? I already know my answer.
They call it a benefit. Watch this. I'm 63. I worked in a hospital billing office for 22 years. So let me tell you something I know in my bones. Nobody plans to leave America over a doctor's bill. Until the bill shows up. Here's mine. I have a heart thing. Nothing dramatic. I take a pill every morning and see a cardiologist twice a year. Before I hit 65 and Medicare kicks in, I'm stuck buying my own insurance. You know what a marketplace plan runs for a 63-year-old in Georgia? $1,100 a month. And that's with a $9,000 deductible. Read that again. $1,100 a month. And it pays for almost nothing until I've spent $9,000 of my own dollars first. I sat with my own spreadsheet, the same kind I built for patients for 2 decades, and I added it up. Premiums, deductible, the pills my plan calls Tier 3, the specialist visits. Over $20,000 a year to stay healthy enough to keep living. On a retirement I thought was solid. And here's the twist that broke me. I processed thousands of these bills. I watched people my age get approved for care and then get destroyed by the paperwork anyway. I knew the system was cold. I just never thought I'd be the one on the other side of the glass. So my sister, she moved to Cuenca, Ecuador 4 years ago. She sends me her numbers. Full private health coverage down there, a few hundred a month. A specialist visit, out of pocket, $30, $40. She had a knee replacement and paid less than my American deductible. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I renewed my passport last month. It's sitting in my kitchen drawer right now like a loaded question. Because I don't want to leave. My grandkids are in Savannah. My whole life is in Savannah. But I cannot set $20,000 on fire every year for the crime of getting older. They keep calling it a benefit. A benefit I can't afford is just a bill with a nicer name. So somebody explain it to me. How do you stay in a country that charges you a mortgage to keep your own heart beating? Because I've run the numbers 100 times, and they always point at the door.